Here I go, here I go, here I go. Yeah, here I go, here I go, here I go.
Before we get into today's episode of the pod, you guys have to subscribe because I'm looking at you and you're not subscribed to the channel yet, and you have to hit the notification bell because you're not going to know when I post if you don't have notifications when I post. Make sure to like the video, you guys, so I know you guys are enjoying these episodes. Make sure to follow my social medias. I will pop them on the screen so you can stay up to date with everything to do with this podcast. And then don't forget to check out the Spotify version. The link will be in the description for that as well. Finally, I am a sports writer, so make sure to check out the take.sport.blog so you can read the best sports articles ever. You will not regret clicking that link, so make sure to click that link below. But let's go ahead and get into today's pod, you guys. All right, guys, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Take Podcast. I am your host, Jackson Burleson, of course, and in today's episode, first of all, we're going to be kind of addressing this Nikola Jokic situation with the Phoenix Suns owner, and you know how he kind of just made an unnecessary action, and it shouldn't have really happened, but it did. Nikola Jokic, he was not suspended for elbowing the Suns owner out of bounds, trying to get the ball. It was a weird situation. Nikola Jokic was kind of out of the play. Shouldn't have really been involved in that anyways, but he just kind of pushes him. And to be honest with you, Nikola Jokic should have 100% been ejected for this, and he should have been suspended for this because that is a non-basketball play, okay? So if you look at similar situations, like with the Draymond Green situation where he got suspended against the Kings for stepping on Sabonis, I feel that Draymond should have gotten a technical foul in that case instead of Jokic getting a technical foul in this case, because you're in the middle of the game if you're Draymond Green. And Draymond Green stepped on Sabonis because Sabonis was grabbing his legs. That's a little bit of a different situation here. But Jokic elbowed somebody who's not even on the basketball court. So he should have 100% been suspended. It was completely unnecessary, and it was 100% on purpose. Nikola Jokic literally looked at the Suns owner before pushing him, elbowing him, whatever you want to call it. People are calling it an elbow. People are calling it a push. I think it was 100% an elbow. He kind of just pushed him like that. You cannot do that. Like, Nikola Jokic, I love you as a player. I respect everything you do for this game, but you cannot do things like that. Like, that is just so unprofessional, and it's not a way to lead your team the right way. That's just not. I know he's proving in these NBA playoffs that he should have won MVP, but I mean, my Lord, man, like, you need to not be doing that. Like, you need to get your head in line, because this is not the first time that Jokic has done something like this. This is not the first time. Like, do you guys remember? It was a few years ago against the Heat. It was Markieff Morris right in front of him, and he just absolutely pushed him. Like, even though Markieff kind of pushed him first, Jokic just absolutely came up behind him and just laid him out. I mean, these Serbian guys, man, Jokic is a big dude. He ain't small. Like, they're physical. They're physical, and they're mean. Like, have you seen Nikola Jokic's brothers? I mean, those two guys are ginormous. Like, they're so scary. They're like literally this man's bodyguards. Like, they're jacked, and they're also very, very tall, and they have tattoos. They look very scary. Like, Nikola Jokic's brothers are scary dudes, and that's where he gets the physicality from. That's literally where Nikola Jokic gets his physicality from. Honestly, if the $25,000 fine that Jokic got for this is, honestly, he got away with that pretty easy. He got away with that pretty easy. Now, I don't know why this is. So if you compare this situation to many other situations throughout these NBA playoffs, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, the NBA refereeing is just, it's really not been, I'm not going to say like consistent, but it hasn't been like up to this point, it hasn't been good. Like I would say the assessment of the flagrant foul, I don't like it. Like, I mean, first of all, like when when you're looking at the replay monitor and you're watching to see if it's a flagrant one or a flagrant two, a flagrant one is, unnecessary contact, but like you're not trying to like hurt somebody. That's the thing. Flagrant two is like when you get ejected and you're done. Like you've done something to get ejected. And the thing is, like the NBA now has just became so soft to the point where like referees just can change a game with a blow of their whistle. Like you look back in the days, like Kareem would literally throw a full out uppercut punch at somebody and just get a technical foul. Or Bill Laimbeer, he would just throw a nasty elbow. That's a legit elbow. Nikola Jokic's elbow to the Suns owner, that was not a real elbow. You look back in the 80s and 90s, the game was so much more physical and you could get away with so much more. And Nikola Jokic is one guy in the NBA that could actually play back in the 90s with Jordan and actually survive and probably be one of the top dogs, if you're asking me. Because when he's down there posting up, I mean, he is banging down there. I mean, he's literally using that shoulder, just putting his shoulder down. He's a big dude. I mean, he's like 290 pounds, almost 300 pounds, and he's a point guard. Like, he's 7 foot. I mean, honestly, like, if you ask me, I think Nikola Jokic should have won MVP this year. I don't think they should have given it to Embiid. Now, I think the NBA gave Embiid the MVP because of this reason, because they feel bad for the man, and he's been second runner-up for the last 2 seasons, and they felt bad for the man. So they're just like, you know what? We're just going to give him the MVP because he hasn't won it before, and he's really been balling out. He's been playing at an MVP caliber level for a long time. So we're just going to give it to him, and then next year we're going to give it back to Jokic. That's how it's going to go down. But the Denver Nuggets, man, against this Phoenix Suns team, they look very, very impressive. I would not be surprised if the Denver Nuggets won this series. I think whoever wins the Denver Nuggets Suns series is going to make it to the finals. I'm going to say that right now. I think that's just what's going to happen. Now, they're going to have to, one of those teams are going to have to play the Lakers in the conference finals because the Lakers are up 3-1. And I do expect them to close out that series against the Golden State Warriors. I really love the way the Lakers have looked up to this point in the playoffs. I mean, LeBron's playing at an elite level. He looks more healthy than ever. Anthony Davis is more dominant than he has ever been in these playoffs. He's finally showing up, finally becoming that superstar player that the Lakers traded for. And then last night, Lonnie Walker scored 15 points in the fourth quarter. And those were all the points he had for the entire game. 15 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, he was showcasing some elite shooting ability and some speed. And this guy can also play defense. Now, someone brought this to my attention. Lonnie Walker is better than DeJounte Murray and Malcolm Brogdon. That was their take. Now, I'm not sure if I agree with that because I think Malcolm Brogdon is better than Lonnie Walker because Malcolm Brogdon won Sixth Man of the Year this year. I mean, that's why I think Malcolm Brogdon is better than Lonnie Walker. But DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker, that's a little closer for me because the only difference between those two, in my opinion, is DeJounte Murray has had his opportunity to be, one of the guys. And Lonnie Walker hasn't really had his chance. I mean, he's kind of been a role player, a bench player. I mean, on the Lakers, he comes off the bench. So he's not really a star, so he doesn't really get much opportunities. But when he does get his opportunities, he takes advantage of them for sure. But I just think that give Lonnie Walker about maybe a year or two in a very significant role, and then he'll be better than DeJounte Murray because they play so similar. I mean, they love to drive the basket. They can shoot the ball. They can play defense. They're fast. I mean, they play super, super similar. So, I mean, right now, I would have to say DeJounte Murray is a better player because he's just had more experience. And they've been teammates before in San Antonio prior to DeJounte going to Atlanta and prior to Lonnie Walker going to LA. They were teammates in San Antonio, and DeJounte Murray did average 20 points per game, was an all-star. Now, Lonnie Walker was averaging about 11 points, but I think just because DeJounte Murray was the best player on that team, I think he's the better player right now. But 2 years from now, Lonnie Walker will definitely be a better player than Malcolm Brogdon and DeJounte Murray, 100%. I just wanted to bring that up because someone brought that to my attention. I'm just like, oh man, that's actually a really good take. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I had to think about that for a second. I mean, I'm like, ooh man, and Lonnie Walker really impressed me last night. I was like, that's not bad. But the Lakers, they took care of business against the Warriors. And the Warriors, man, the turnovers are killing them. Last night, they had 2 opportunities to tie up the game. It was 104-101. Draymond Green gets the ball on the inbound the first time with about 10 seconds left. He turns the ball over because he tries passing it to Wiggins under the basket. He turns it over. Then the second time, they get the ball back, and it's a jump ball, but they don't really get a good handle on the ball. So Curry gets the ball, falls down, and then he kind of throws it up, which I don't know what he's really doing there, but he had like 1 second to do something, so he kind of didn't really have any time. So I'm not really sure what else different the Warriors could have done in that situation, but the Lakers took care of business. They won both games at home. That is very important. Like I'm telling you, like home court advantage in these playoffs is everything. It's everything. Like if you drop one game at home, it's no longer a series. It's no longer a series. Like you got to win games at home. You've got to win games at home. And the Warriors they've struggled on the road all year long. And these playoffs are a great example of that. A great example of that. Especially against the Lakers. I mean, do the Warriors come back down 3-1? No. I give them no chance whatsoever, but I will say this. If any team were to come back down 3-1, it would be Steph Curry and the Warriors. Because they have been in this situation before, and they have showed that they can come back in these situations. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Absolutely not. And who is back? James Harden. Oh, James Harden has had the best postseason of his entire career. Not even close. Not even close. He's actually been clutch, James Harden, these playoffs. Game 1 against the Celtics without Embiid, he shows up and drops 45 points. Are you joking right now? I thought James Harden was washed up. I didn't think he had anything left in the gas tank. And now he's going out there, balling out, hitting game winners. He hit a game winner in game 4 to literally seal the deal. You know, I mean, I've just been really impressed with James Harden. Not just James Harden's scoring ability, but his playmaking ability. I mean, he sees the floor so incredibly well for a guy that hasn't really been a point guard his entire career. I mean, it's honestly unbelievable to watch James Harden. And Embiid has been absolutely dominant. I mean, that mid-range he has, that is completely unguardable. You cannot stop that whatsoever. I think the Celtics are going to win this series in 7 games, but man, the Celtics have had troubles with Embiid. I mean, they've had a really difficult time with Embiid. Besides game 2. Game 2, they kind of were shutting down Embiid a little bit, but I don't know. I just think the Celtics are too good. They have too many players that come off the bench that are very good and they can give you quality minutes. So I think the Celtics are going to win this series in 7, but I mean, man, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that can really happen here. And then my Miami Heat. We're up 3-1 against the Knicks. Let's go. Jimmy Buckets is back. Jimmy Buckets is playing at an elite level. Bam Adebayo. And Lord, Kevin Love has been absolutely sensational. You get the ball on the inbounds. Every time he's inbounding the ball, he is throwing a full court pass. The pace of the game has been unbelievable. The Heat have been the fastest team in this entire postseason. In the regular season, we were the slowest team. And you know what's funny? We're doing all of this without Tyler Hero. I don't think we need Tyler Hero to beat the Boston Celtics in the conference finals. I really don't. I don't. I think if Tyler Hero comes back, we are going to lose to the Celtics 100% in 5 games. Guarantee it. But the way the Heat have been playing right now, we are going to be in the NBA Finals. The Celtics are not coming out of the East. The dreams of the Celtics putting up that 18th banner is gone because the Miami Heat are going to be raising up the 4th banner in franchise history. That is exactly what is going to happen at the end of June. And I'm so excited for that. But this is going to go ahead and do it for today's episode of the Take Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know it's been a minute since I made one of these, but I'm really trying to get back on the grind, trying to, keep uploading for you guys. I've been really busy traveling. So I'm going to be dropping a couple audio only pods in this week. So make sure to kind of stay tuned for that on Spotify. But I'm your host, Jackson Burleson. And this has been another episode of the Take Podcast. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my heart up on ice.